Hello children. So today we are going to begin chapter 3 of our reader book, One Foggy Morning. So before beginning this chapter, let us do this activity. Now one question has been given. So from the given options you have to take the correct answer. What do you understand by science fiction? Stories. The first option is stories about adventure involving pirates or sailors who travel to far-off lands and are often involved in shipwrecks or battles at sea. Mystery stories about ghosts or crime stories about detectives and a lot of action, usually based in a city. Stories about imaginary events on Earth or on another planet, dealing with time travel and involving alien species or creatures. Which of these do you associate with science fiction? Why? So from the given options you have to choose one appropriate answer and explain that why you have chosen this option. I hope you enjoyed doing the activity. So now let us begin the chapter. Rishi is waiting at the bus stop one morning when a stranger appears and talks to him. The stranger is no ordinary person, but he just can't seem to impress Rishi. Now, stranger means some unknown person. Now, while Rishi was waiting at the bus stop one morning, a stranger means an unknown person appears and started talking to him. The stranger was not an ordinary person, he was not a simple person, but he just could not seem to impress Rishi. Hello, young man. What is your name? Rishi was startled by the sudden voice behind him. Startled means surprised. So Rishi was surprised by the sudden voice behind him. Rishi, he blurted out as he turned around. Blurted out means that he spoke without thinking. There was no one there. The lane was empty as usual on the cold, foggy morning. At 6:30 a.m., only birds and school kids were up. As it was a cold and foggy morning, the lane was empty. Only birds and school kids were awake. A throat-clearing sound came from behind him, as if someone were clearing his throat. Rishi whirled round and bumped into a thickly padded overcoat. Whirl around means to turn around quickly, and bump means to collide. So Rishi turned around quickly and bumped into a thickly padded overcoat. Sorry, he said, and stepped back. The stranger was a comical sight. Comical means a unique or strange sight. So the stranger was a comical sight. From the lower end of his army green overcoat peeped two brown boots. His collar was upturned and on his head was a large white floppy cricketer's cap. Upturned means pointing upwards. So his collar was pointing upwards and on his head was a large white floppy cricketer's cap. Floppy means very soft and hanging downwards, not a very rigid. So it was a floppy cricketer's cap. Must be an army man, Rishi thought, out for a morning stroll. So Rishi thought that he must be a retired army man and is out for a morning walk. Are you going on a hike or something? That's a big backpack to carry, the man said. Don't be silly, Rishi said. I'm going to school. I'm waiting for the school bus. The man said, maths and geography and all that, Do you like school? It's okay, Rishi sighed. Sighed means to take a deep breath to show sadness or disappointment. You like maths? The stranger said. Give me a sum, a difficult one. Let's see how fast I can do it. The man is obviously crazy, Rishi thought. Well, why not? It will help you to pass the time. The fog was delaying the bus again. 9,989,762 divided by 786. Rishi rattled out the first large numbers that came into his head. Rattled out means to speak quickly and without thinking. So Rishi spoke out all these numbers without thinking. He spoke very quickly. That's very easy, the man said. 12,709 plus decimals. That was fast. Rishi pulled out a ruler from his bag. The ruler had a solar calculator. 9989762. The stranger prompted as Rishi keyed in the numbers. The answer was right. Prompted means reminded. The stranger reminded him the numbers as Rishi was keying in the numbers. So what? Rishi said. Shakuntala Devi can do more difficult sums and faster than a computer. Who is he? Asked the man, startled. How long have you known him? Where is he from? Have you met him? The questions poured out. Pour out means to ask or express something freely. So the stranger freely started asking many questions to Rishi. It is a she, Rishi said. Haven't you heard about her? She has been holding shows all over the world. I see, the man said. Can she do this? He held out a huge gloved hand and then he closed his palm. When he opened it, there was a chocolate bar in it. No, thank you. I don't like chocolates, Rishi said as the man offered the bar to him. He loved chocolates, but he wasn't going to accept one from a stranger. The man closed his palm, turned it over, and opened it once again. Nothing fell out. The chocolate had disappeared. That was a good trick. Are you a magician? Rishi asked. A magician? Oh no. Anyone can do it where I come from, the man said. He held out his hand again, closed the palm and opened it. There was a toy car in it. He handed it to Rishi. Can I keep this? Rishi asked excitedly. Of course, the man said. Is that why your overcoat is so filled out? Rishi asked. Do you hide lots of things there? Hide? The man looked puzzled. Oh, I see. You think I am producing these things from my coat pockets. You are wrong. But let it be. Rishi stood playing with the car. Suddenly, it slipped from his hands and fell at his feet. Wait, the man said as Rishi bent to pick it up. The man's right arm and the sleeve of the coat lengthened. Longer and longer it grew until the fingers reached the ground. Lengthened means to become longer. The hand closed on the car and retreated upwards. Retreated means moved back to where it came from. There, he said. How did you do that? Rishi asked. I have never seen a trick like that before. So Rishi was very surprised to see all this. You still think I am playing tricks? Give me the car for a moment. Will you? He asked. Rishi handed it over. The man's arm extended again, right up to the middle of the road. He put the car down. Now watch, the man said. As Rishi watched, the silver grey toy made the sound of an engine starting up. Slowly it began to move forward. The car screeched as it went round a pebble. Screeched means to make an unpleasant, loud, high sound. When it had travelled a few feet, it made a sharp about turn on two wheels and sped back towards Rishi. Sharp about turn means sudden change in the opposite direction. Sped is the past participle of speed. You are a very good ventriloquist. Ventriloquist means a performer who can speak in a way that makes it seem as if the voice is coming from somewhere else. Rishi said admiringly as he picked up the car and put it into his bag. Now Rishi thought that the noises that were coming from the car were actually made by the man himself. I'm not a ventriloquist, the man said and threw up his arms. Rishi felt sorry for him. After all, the poor man was trying to entertain him, and for free. Are all boys like you? The man said at last. Meaning smart? Rishi said. Oh no, I'm not good at studies, but I read lot of books. The man was quiet. He seemed upset. Just then the bus arrived. It turned into the lane and stopped in front of them. Bye, Rishi said without looking back and began to climb up the steps. Halfway up, he turned. Halfway means when you are at the middle point of something. You didn't tell me your name, he shouted above the noise of the bus and the kids. But there was no one in the lane. It was as empty as it had been at 6:25 a.m. when he had stepped out of his house. He opened his bag and put a hand inside. The car was still there. So with this, our story is over. I hope you all have enjoyed and understood the story, which is on science fiction.